And you can pretty much do it in perpetuity.
Yep. The Sports Hub.
I was going to play a Stephen A. Smith cut here that I thought I sent to Jimmy, but I didn't. So I didn't. He's just guessing what I wanted. Jimmy, just play it here, and I'll cut it off real quick if it's not what I wanted. It's my bad, but go ahead.
Now, I'm not one to get inside of people's bedrooms, and I'm one of those people. I can't stand when people do that because you don't know what individual marriages and what understand. I know people with open marriages. I know people who are all about getting for their freak-ons. I know people that is all about swinging. I've heard of this stuff. Never been involved with it myself, but I know of this kind of stuff. So you never know what's going on inside of somebody's bedroom.
Very good, Jimmy. Perfect.
That's it.
I generally agree with that statement. Never underestimate the freakiness of the guy next to you.
Okay, and
it doesn't add up though in this case.
Why?
Because Vrabel's apologizing to his family, and he's clearly done something wrong to them in his own mind.
Stephen A.
Yeah, so that's the part people are leaving out. He's apologizing to them publicly.
Come on, Stephen.
Yeah.
If they had an open marriage, if they were just getting their freak on, if they're swingers, and all that stuff, then is Mike Vrabel with the hangdog thing here for the last week?
Absolutely.
Is he apologizing, taking leave of absences? Like, come, use your head, Stephen. Come on.
Well, Mike, and the leave of absence thing is a big one too, because look, let's just say hypothetically they did have an open marriage, okay, and you don't want the world to know it. So Vrabel makes it look like there's contrition there.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't leave the team for the draft for that. You would have, in other words, you've already done what you did to hide it. So if you add it all up, no way. No way.
Let me give an example that we know where there apparently was an open relationship and there was an understanding. It was Ime Udoka and Nia Long. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when he got fired from the Celtics, Nia Long was pissed and was public about it and was supportive of Udoka and was critical of the team. Because apparently they have an understanding or had an understanding or whatever. She was heard from and made it clear whose side she was on. She was still on Udoka's side. All right.
Good point.
Are you hearing that from Jen Vrabel?
No.
I mean, that's just giving them a break. That's just giving him a break. She was okay with it. She just said, don't embarrass me.
Not to mention, if it was open on the level, why are you traveling 2.5 hours to Sedona to a secluded place?
And then walking behind each other and all this stuff.
Exactly,
like, come on.
Exactly right.
And we can't judge? Yeah, we can, Stephen. We judge everybody for everything every day. So come on. We can do that, too. I love Stephen A. But that one, I just look at how Mike's carrying himself, and you answer your own questions on whether you thought that was an arranged marriage. Come on.
No, the fact that he is as contrite as he is tells you, and again, nobody's heard from Jen Vrabel. Nobody. And I can understand that. I'm not criticizing her for it.
Okay, I promise. Back to your phones. Dan in the car. Go ahead, Dan.
Michael, I've been holding on to this for a while. Back in 24, you called the entire draft class an F, and I said, oh, that's a lazy contrarian take. Turns out you're just right. They were terrible at football. So in the instance of fairness, I just needed to apologize for that. And you have a great day, sir.
Thank you. You too. Well, listen, I'm just going to, if all the local guys are going to come out, B+, A-, A-, B+.
Going to balance the scales?
Someone's got to do it. So F. You took the 7th of 7 tackles in a bad tackle draft. You drafted another left tackle after taking a left tackle last year who's probably not a left tackle. This guy's a finesse player who you're going to now play on the right side. He's never played right tackle. There's plenty to pick apart. I'll just be the guy that gives you that. And you can go everywhere else to have people praise the pick and tell you why it makes sense. And I'll just provide the balance. And in time, it'll be 50-50. Sometimes I'll be right, sometimes I'll be wrong. Just like the other guys who put all the time into it and then are trying to be fair to the Patriots. You'll see. Just like throwing darts at the magazine. No one effing knows. If I go F every year and these guys go A every year, you watch. Our hit and miss rate will be exactly the same. Sometimes the F will be right, sometimes the A will be right, and no one knows. So I'm here for you, Boston.
I'll tell you just quickly.
To provide that needed balance.
Well,
yes.
And so here's the other thing, too. If you asked Will Campbell today whether he thought he had to fight for his job, what do you think he would say? I bet you Will Campbell feels right now like, well, they took a guy who's played left tackle. What does that mean? So I'm sure he takes it that way. Like if you don't see,
I don't know because I'm sure Vrabel has done a hot tub with him too, because that's his boy. That's his real love interest. He loves himself some Will Campbell, and he's probably told Will in no uncertain terms, "You're going nowhere, my son."
Yeah, and so maybe he's lying to Will Campbell too.
Connor in Maryland, go ahead on the Bruins. What do you got?
Hey, Felger, I'm honestly going to give you your flowers as well because I've turned a corner on Mason Lohrei. I mean, he's a -4 or a -5 now through 3 games. I wanted to give him a break because he was a young gun. Maybe he needed to figure it out, but I don't think he's figuring anything out right now. Thanks.
Okay, I like Mason Lohrei. What do you mean my fly? I haven't ripped on Mason. I sort of defend Mason Lohrei. I think he's a young, developing defenseman who has a chance to be good. Okay, but he's still developing. Both their goals last night were deflections. So
one was off a Hagen's stick, right?
So, yes, Hagen's. You want to start getting on a young player. Hagen's has started to, I think, reverse.
Look a little overwhelmed.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
He's whiffing on one-timers. That deflection, that was a bad one.
Yeah, you got to get in front of that puck fully or get out of the way.
The second one was kind of bang-bang. Tuck got a lot on it, and it was deflected up high in the slot, and I don't know if it was even a Bruins stick or a Sabres stick. It was a Bruins stick that got it right as he was shooting. It sort of gave it a weird flight that it flew over Swayman's shoulders. That one's acceptable. The Hagen's tip, go back and watch. That defenseman did not get a lot on it. That was not a big blast. And if you're going to get in the way of that puck, you have to stop it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got to be squared up in front of it. You can't give any lane there. Swayman got fooled on that one. I think it was apparent. He got fooled on both of them, but the second one at least had some juice on it.
Here's Dan in Tyburton. I don't know where the hell that is unless you're about New York. Dan, I'm jammed up here, Stuart. If you could, please, on line 1. Dan on the Red Sox. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, real quick. Do you think Theo would ever get pressured enough to go back into Craig Breslow's role, number 1? And number 2, I do love the Sox. I'm a huge fan. And I know as the season gets as they continue to spiral, you guys are probably going to focus more on football in the summer. Can you guys please hammer this team because they deserve to be buried every day this summer? It's a disgrace, and we're suffering. I mean, this is 8 years now. I mean, this is bullshit.
Okay, Dan, you can't say that. So
he's right though about the 8 years.
Listen, first of all, Dan and Boston, who want us, even if they become irrelevant, to hammer the crap out of them all summer long. You have our word. We will hammer the crap out of them all summer long.
I'm your man.
You've come to the right place. Maz, why is Theo a no-go to come back down and run the team?
I just don't think he wants to live the day-to-day life of a chief baseball executive anymore, be on the phone all the time. Not that all the executives travel anymore. It's a grind.
Can I jump in on it?
Yeah, go.
He doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't need it. He's already done.
He doesn't need the money.
No, and in fact, I was just about to say to you, it's funny you said this. I said, if I were John Henry, I would offer Theo $50 million a year. And I bet you he'd still say no.
I think he's more than all set financially. He's already accomplished anything a GM would want to accomplish. Bringing championships to 2 teams that collectively were waiting like 200 years for them.
The 2 biggest loser franchises in the sport.
So his legacy is cemented. His bank account is cemented. He's he's got bigger fish to fry. I think they've put him on the golf thing or the soccer thing. He wants to be commissioner, not GM of a team.
Yeah, he's outgrown it.
So I don't think, unfortunately for you, I think, Maz, that's the exact right way to put it. He's outgrown it.
Yeah, he's outgrown it. And so, which is why the only shot that you have, I know it's a crazy number, but that's the only way I think he would consider it. Like, Henry should really go to him, not only will we make you the chief, highest paid executive in the game, $50 million. I'll give you a 5-year, $250 million contract.
And Theo would say no thanks.
I think he would say no thanks. I haven't had any contact with him in ages. And I think that's the way he wants it, because I gather that he hasn't really connected much with anybody. And I could be wrong. But I think he's just done with it. I think he's done with the stuff that comes with that job. And as you said, he doesn't need it.
Back to your calls on an Agenda-Free Friday right after these words. Go back to the phones for the 5 o'clock hour, Maz, unless you have a fresh thought for us.
God, no.
Felger and Maz, 98.5 Sports Hub. Victor Arvidsson, who had 2 goals in Game 2, a chance to double up the Bruins' lead here in the second period. The right-handed shot picks up the puck at center ice, cuts over to the right wing circle, coming in front, tried to go forehand, stick side, and Lyon was there to make the save.
Yeah, he just got a piece of it. It's kind of a toss-up. Like, do you want the power play or do you want a penalty shot?
I know. It's kind of an all-in type of a gamble, right? So with 10:10 to go here in the second, still 1-0 Bruins lead. As Arvidsson's penalty shot is denied. Ostlund now at center ice. Skates in across the left wing side. To the circle. To the corner. Centering pass. Came all the way through. And shooting and scoring is Bowen Byram. Pass from the left wing corner all the way across to the right circle. And Byram ties the game at 1.
Yeah, Ostlund was able to get into the zone. And he's just going to go wide to this left wing side. But the Bruins, they almost overplay it a little bit. Coming back into the zone. They've got numbers back there. And this shot actually deflects off of James Hagen's and goes up and over the shoulder.
Buffalo defenseman, was it Dahlin? Stick shatters, or was it who was it? Whose stick was it? Because I do now.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you blame this player?
My new thing is I blame the player for broken sticks.
That thing exploded.
Like on an uncontested shot, like an uncontested thing. You're not getting stick checked or slashed or something. If you break your stick like that, you must be doing something wrong. It's like my new thing. Whether it's right or not, I don't know.
If that were true, I'd be breaking golf clubs left and right.
Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes the head of the driver just goes careening off. That's because we suck.
I don't know about you. I hit it pure.
So this is my equivalent with the hockey stick. So like when, who was it in Game 1? Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah.
When his stick just spontaneously combusted, I said, that's because he sucks. So who's the defenseman whose stick combusted there with Buffalo? If it was Dahlin, I can't bring myself to believe that because he's good. So I'll go back and see it. Anyway, the stick explodes. Arvidsson gets a break. He gets taken down. Rightfully called a penalty shot. You're up 1-0.
Matthias Samuelsson.
He's good. I like Samuelsson.
He's the one that scored the goal in Game 1, right?
Probably a bad stick. One of them, yeah. He scored the game winner in Game 1.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Either way, there's the game right there. Chance to go up 2-0, and you can't convert the penalty shot. 0 for 4 on the power play. And their power play wasn't all that bad. Like, they got in the zone in this game. Like, they did get in the zone. They didn't have their usual problems where, 3/4 of the power play was them dicking around with the puck around the red line. No, they got in the zone. They got in the zone, and they got some chances, and they got some looks, and they just couldn't score. 0 for 4 on the power play, missed penalty shot. Like right there. But that was the key sequence. Up 1-0, chance to go up 2-0, and Arvidsson pretty much chucked it right into his blocker.
So as soon as he started to bow out to the right, I went, uh-oh. Because then, to me, speed, you got to go in fast.
Well, I see a lot of guys bowing out, but they usually come in there offside.
Well, so there's that, too. Thank you for bringing that up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have a better angle.
As a right shot, I see a lot of guys sort of bow out to the left, and now they've opened up the whole. He went on his strong side, which is generally not what you do, and then shooting all the way across his body.
Yep.
So it's like, that was it. Boy, you made that goalie look good last night.
I just didn't love the fact, too, that it was so deliberate. Like, to me, the way you get the goalie on his heels is to move. You got to move fast. You can't just come in and float. It's just, and he's not exactly a sniper.
Back to your phones. Jake in the suburbs. Yes, Jake.
Yeah, so I think the Bruins have a Lindholm problem yet again. And Elias Lindholm's probably hurt. In the first 2 games, he had a face-off percentage of 58% and took 25 face-offs and 18 face-offs. And then last night, he had a 33%. He took 12. And Geekie ended up taking 7 after taking none in the first 2 games. And he was also pulled off the power play. And frankly, like his energy when he's playing hard, it's critical for Pasternak and those guys. So that's a major issue because they don't have any depth at center. And the other thing is Hampus Lindholm, he's good for one dumb mistake a game. I mean, seriously, delay of game coming out of your own zone in the first period, he's just brutal.
Brutal. But, Jake, you're good analysis on Elias Lindholm.
Excellent. Yeah, that's one of the better calls we've ever gotten.
Elias got dropped in the lineup last night. He got taken off that second power. He got taken off the power play on the second power play of the third period, I want to say. And then the last couple shifts, I think Zaka moved up to center with Pasternak. So maybe there's something,
I heard. So I listened to a chunk of the third period last night to our broadcast rather than watching it because I was doing some work in the garage. And Bob surmised that they took him off. They dropped him because he's injured. Well,
that's what the college said.
Yeah.
He's hurt. I mean, I think he had no shots in 19 minutes or something last night.
But it's one thing for a caller to do it, and another thing for our color guy to mention it. So
I tell you, he's he's kind of invisible on his good nights. Never mind when he's invisible.
Right, if he's neutral, that's fine. When he's a negative, that's bad.
Nick in Fall River, go ahead, Nick. What do you got?
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for taking the call today. I'll try to be quick about this because it's two things. One, I've been talking to Maz on both shows about Peyton Tolley. I didn't think he was going to get called up and whiff 11, though. I mean, but I did say it. He's gigantic and he throws hard and he's left-handed. I don't know what more you want. And then when it comes to the Bruins, I hate to say it, but Swayman's the only thing that's clicking for them right now. And if that's how it's going to be, then this series is over in 5.
Yeah, I'll go back to your best players. Pastrnak, Geeky especially, if they're going to get that much ice time, that much power play time, if they're both going to be minus players, Pastrnak was a -3 last night, and they're going to be liabilities in their own end, which they are, and they were on both of those goals, then you have to score your chances. You can't go 0 on the score sheet and be a liability in your own end. And that's what last night was, and that's what I feel like too many nights are with David Pastrnak. I do. But he's out there so damn much. 6 minutes of power. They had 8 minutes of power play time. He was out there for 6 of them. Ultimately, one's going to go in. And then I'm going to hear, how do you like David Pastrnak now? And you know what I say to that is, well, yeah, you put Maz out there for 20 minutes of power play time. Eventually, one's going to go in.
Probably deflected off my ass, but yeah.
I mean, it's a volume thing. Yeah. It's like he's out there constantly. And the puck does find him. Like, he's usually on the puck, around the puck. So, yeah, over 7 games and 20 minutes a night of ice time, 6 minutes a night of power play time, one's ultimately going to go in. It's just how much does he cost you in the interim? And, boy, he costs you. He does.
When they got that first power play in the third period last night, I thought they were going to score. Right before it, I looked at it and I saw that, there were 8 minutes in penalties on the Bruins and only 4 on Buffalo, and I thought they're going to get the next call, and they did, and they couldn't capitalize. That is when, to me, you started to say this isn't going to happen tonight.
Just quickly, because the caller mentioned it, his first thing, Peyton Tolley. What did I text you about him last night?
The guy's electric.
Yeah, he's too cool for this loser franchise, is what he is. Like, he should have already been in the rotation. I think that's evident. But if it's one thing if they cared and they were invested, but they don't.
He's too cool for this loser franchise.
He is. If it's one thing if they cared and they were invested a little bit more than they are, but they don't, and now he's just wasted here. This must be what Pirates fans feel like with Paul Skeens, and they don't even suck like the Red Sox suck this year. But it just feels like a waste. He's a badass. He got out of that bases loaded jam, whoever was the fourth. All the emotion, couple of strikeouts there against the Yankees. That was awesome. But a waste. Just a waste here.
He walked off that mound with a 2-1 lead. There were men on base. He deserved a better fate. He didn't get it. Like, part of me wants him to stay because obviously Gray's out. And if you're going to throw bullets like that all the time, then you deserve to be here. Part of me thinks, don't waste him on this. Like, I mean, they're not going to win anyway. They gave up 4 runs a game in the series. 4, 4, and 4. Those are winnable games in this day and age. And they couldn't score.
Jake in Boston, please. I'm going to cut you off if you go too long or you confuse me. Go ahead.
Wow. Revisiting predictions from earlier this week. 48 hours ago, you didn't think it was possible. The only move Russini has now is to sell her story, which is going to make you look bad. And now, Felger, you're lusting for TMZ in the Post to camp out in the Seaport to make sure Vrabel actually goes to counseling on Saturday. That said, I found it hilarious last night that after the last 16 days, the Patriots went full LDS. That's Mormonism with their first-round pick. There are worries about this kid being too nice, not having enough edge, but Elliott probably loved the fact that it was the opposite of the last 16 days where your coach made an enemy of the New York Post for having a 6-year affair. I don't know if there's anything to it, but they picked the absolute biggest square they could.
I don't think there's anything to that. They're drafting for need. He just happened to be a Mormon who went to Utah. It's a coincidence.
So that's what I think, too. I think it's a coincidence, but it's hard not to notice the contrast.
I mean, it's worth pointing out.
We're not drafting for skill. We're drafting for wholesomeness.
but again, I feel bad for this kid because he's coming into the Devil's Den.
Oh, yeah, no. Seriously. Football's version of Vegas.
Here's an update with Big Jim, and we're right back.
Felger and Maz continues on the Sports Hub.
Thank you. Like I told you before, my priorities are my family and this football team, and in that order. And there's a balance there that I am going to create. And my family needs me this weekend, and that's where I'll be. But I'm confident in the people that we have. I'm confident in the preparation. I'm thankful for Elliot and his staff that have prepared us for this night, for this weekend. I ask that somehow you can allow those players that we bring onto this football team, allow them the excitement and joy of recognizing a dream and starting a journey. I hope that you can do that. And again, I'm focused on this team moving forward, and out of respect to my family, I won't have any more comments or answers to touch on, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tail end of Vrabel's opening statement last night. He then did take some questions, little minor insights, and I thought a really bad comment at the very end of the press conference about, that initial denial that he gave to the New York Post, saying it's laughable. He said in that answer to Andrew Callahan that it was an attempt to protect your family, which I thought was just utter bullcrap. But anyway, something else struck you about that comment, Mike?
Well, no, just in that comment, he starts talking about how exciting a night it is for the people involved and the players, and, it's the beginning of the journey. And he basically asked the media to, the way I read it was, don't ask these kids about me.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
I looked at it as show some grace to the due and 8 when they screw up, because they're going to, and they're going to be on the field, and you a-holes are forever going to link what happened with me in this situation to these players. So,
no, Maz is right, though.
You don't think that's part of it, too, though?
No, but we're going to do it, believe me. It's down to 7, but it's the doing 7.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because they traded the 4th.
Yeah.
Right, they got rid of one of the 4ths. Yeah, so, but I think it was his way of saying, look, cut these guys a break. Don't ruin their night by asking them about me. And, so now, look, I don't think anyone did. I read the transcript and it didn't look like anyone asked him about what was going on with Vrabel. So, but I think that's what he meant. That's how I read it.
But we have been joking about it. It's like this poor kid coming into a den of sin and the devil's playground here in New England. This kid, he's not going to know what hit him.
Right, like this guy wants to live a chaste, pure existence.
I mean,
and it's like, dude, you came to the wrong place.
You have no idea.
Because the cheating that goes on here goes on all over the place.
It's a Patriots bingo card. They got it. You name it. Adultery, prostitution, lust, drugs, murder. You name it. Name it. Patriots bingo. They check every box.
Bingo. I got bingo.
I win again. That was my favorite commercial ever. Here's Kevin in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, guys. The sexy 7 now. But it's hard for me to imagine. It's hard for me to imagine the Vrabels sitting around a therapist on a Saturday knowing that their dad and Mike would just want to be at the draft. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest bit if it's a legal counsel and his wife is just like, you big, dumb, cheating, lying Neanderthal. We're going to the lawyers. We're splitting up assets, and we're getting this over with. You've embarrassed me enough.
Yeah, the Saturday thing's a total mystery.
That could also wait till Monday.
It can obviously wait till Monday.
That's right.
I mean, I think they all... I just... The one I just reject is that she's making him go somewhere on Saturday. I would like to think, and I just have to believe she's done. There's nothing to save here, so please, let's not waste our time. The Suns, different thing, and that maybe is salvageable, and so there's something there to salvage with them. But, they all know the score. The whole family does. They're football lifers. The kids played football. The wife's a football wife. They know the deal. Like, you don't schedule vacations, anything, on draft weekend. Like, so then what? Is it a de facto suspension from the team? I'd buy that. Is more stuff coming and he wants to get out of Dodge? I would buy that. There's a lot of things I could see. The one that's been presented and sort of been, again, presented as the one most likely, I can't see that. Jeff is at work. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, guys. Thank you. I'll be quick about this, but when he spoke to the team first on the delay, last week or whatever,
Yeah, Monday.
If he told the team that this was a one-time thing and a one-time this, and then the team finds out 4 days later, that it's a 6-year plus, and anyone that believes that this guy is in therapy for marriage counseling, this is lawyer counseling. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, I just don't know why it has to be on Saturday. The thing about, I've said before, I'll say again, I think he's going to be on fine footing with his players. Like, I think he can navigate that part of it. He's really good at that part. It's his strength. Now, if he told the team, meaning the ownership, something different, and the Crafts were surprised by stuff this week, then that's a different deal. But I don't think he would be as specific enough with his players for him to be caught in some sort of lie.
No, I think that's probably right. It's more likely that he was, general with them. I've made some bad decisions, and
right.
Now I'm going to pay for them. And, but I want to be honest with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So, maybe the Crafts would want more detail than that.
He owes more detail to the Crafts because the organization, it's a, look, they've got partners. They got all kinds of stuff to consider. That he put them in a bad spot. So, who knows if they might have partners that say, we still want to do this deal, but we don't want Vrabel involved in it anymore. Like, who knows?
Long commercial-free segment comes your way next. Don't go anywhere. Whee! Goalie fight. Whee! Look at the goalie fight.
Whoa.
Maz.
Oh, my God.
Murray.
He sucks in the playoffs.
That's great. No.
98.5.
Wonderful. Good.
The Sports Hub.
Let's check the timeline here for a second, because it does feel like they're warning us that more is coming, just the same way that Melania comes out and does that press conference on the Epsteins out of nowhere. She just comes on Epstein files, and everyone's like, well, what's she trying to get out ahead of? Here's the timeline. Vrabel gives that mealy-mouthed press conference that answers no questions. He's just in front of us for the flogging and then answers nothing. Like, you demand answers, accountability, you got none. Hours later, the New York Post reveals new photos. Now he announces he's going to counseling. What's going on with this photo leaker, this photo taker? What's happening here that might make for more here, that might make all the crisis management stuff that is happening here moot, because there's more here that everyone's fearing? And I don't get sitting out the third day of the draft. There has to be a strategy behind that.
It's possible that Murdoch told Kraft there's more. 100% that's possible. It's possible that the reporters said to Vrabel and his representatives, hey, just so you know, there's more. We're not going to tell you what or tell you when. So trying to get out ahead of a story that you don't have control of is really hard when you've started it with a lie. The only play that Vrabel had was to meet the media and say, obviously, I was there. It was inappropriate. I was involved in a relationship outside of my marriage. I'm dealing with it privately. I don't know if it's going to work, if I'm going to stay married, if I'm going to stay the coach. I can only tell you that the gig is up, and I'm incredibly embarrassed and sorry. I'm not taking questions. I'm not going to talk about it further, but that's what happened. That's how you end a story.
Executive with Miami Marlins. This guy is
the Marlins. Yeah, he was a GM of the Marlins.
Really entertaining guys at GM. He's now his own podcaster, of course.
Yeah.
And talks about a lot of this stuff. And he's absolutely right about that thing. There's only one play. If you're guilty, say nothing.
Right.
If you're innocent, tell all. Anything in between, you're going to get borked.
Yep, absolutely right.
And that's it. And Vrabel didn't do it, and I wonder if he's still not doing it. I'm like, why did you say laughable at that thing? Well, it's a comment made to protect your family. I keep saying your because I think he said your, but, he's a comment made to protect the family, protect my family. Do you think he's protected his family in this?
No. Again, I told you, that to me, that one sticks out like a sore thumb from the thing last night. I think of all the things he has said in, the 2 weeks, and not that he has said all that much, that was the biggest hunk of bullcrap going.
And the
He was worried about his own ass.
Oh, my God. So
End of story.
It's a Weasley comment. His approach has exposed his family, is what it's done. If he had come out with a full admission mea culpa day one, no one would be digging. They wouldn't have a story. Like, of all the people, my brother pointed this out to me. I sort of missed the linkage about the New York Post's approach. Like, why are they keep coming after him? And the photos that were released yesterday from the Tribeca bar. Don't you think they might have had those? And if they...
Oh, I bet you they did. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So why the staggered release? And, are they stringing him along so he digs his own grave and increases the impact of their further reports? In other words, if he comes out day one and says, I'm guilty, I'm flawed, I have a problem, and I'm addressing it, and anything you hear about me might be true, it might not, I deny nothing, and I'm fully at your mercy. If he had done that, there's no point to publish the stuff in New York 6 months ago. 6 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
The story 6 months ago, the story 6 years ago has more impact because he said it's laughable. The New York Post is, that helps the New York Post's subsequent reports. By these guys denying it, then it becomes a story when they have photos from them 6 years ago.
Sure it does, yeah.
If they both just admitted to everything day one, anything that comes out subsequently has less impact. They already admitted to it.
Correct.
But by denying it, any subsequent report has a lot more juice. Oh, it's laughable? Oh, you were with friends? Oh, it was innocent? How about this? How about this?
Yeah, even if they were a little squirrely on the timeline, but still admitted it from the get-go, those pictures come out and people are like, big whoop, they admitted
Exactly, they admitted it. The Post is glad they denied it. The Post has let them dig their own grave.
For sure.
And the Post is like, good. You're denying it? Good.
Yeah, it's
because that's going to get us more clicks when we do it again next week.
Right. Look, and it gets them every day because the people are saying, well, what do they got now? What do they got now?
The Post is playing them.
Yeah, they're totally playing them. Definitely, that part is true. So the one little gray area to me is he would have had to come out from the beginning and admit a long-term relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have had to do that. Because the second wave of photos, the ones that had him in the bar in Tribeca, there was new information there, meaning that we learned that it was a long-term thing.
Yeah, but he could have still alluded to it. If he had just said, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life.
Yeah.
And this is something I'm not... I don't know. All I know is the subsequent stories just have more impact because they denied them.
Definitely, Mike.
And the Post has just sort of been playing them.
Yeah.
Just sort of stringing them along. Keep denying it because it just makes it better when we come up with something next.
Yeah, he does. He's digging himself into the ground. Absolutely.
All right, a couple pieces of business. DraftKings same-game parlay is my turn this week. Chris Gasper is standing by. He's going to talk about some Celtics coming up as well. But I did go honk parlay on the Celtics. I just can't take this Philly team seriously. I'm sorry. I just can't. So here's our bet, which is currently up on the DraftKings Sportsbook site or the app. A $100 bet will win you $500. And that is Celtics minus the points, minus 7.5 tonight in Philadelphia. We're going to go Jaylen Brown over 27.5 points. This is a correction. This is like your classic NBA playoff correction. What happens in Game 2 now is corrected in Game 3. Okay? So instead of Tatum being the focal point on a lot of those possessions late in Game 2, which really, I think, bogged them down. This is going to be a Jaylen Brown takeover game. Jaylen Brown over 27.5 points. And I'm going to go Derek White over 13.5 points. He's been struggling. He struggled shooting the ball in that game in Game 2. What does that mean? Turns it around in Game 3. So Celtics minus 7.5, Jaylen Brown over 27.5, Derek White over 13.5. Celtics, again, are 26-15 against the spread on the road this season. Brown has averaged 28.7 points per game this season. Brown is averaging 31 so far in the playoffs, and Derek White is averaging 16.5 this season. But more importantly for me, he's coming off a bad game. So he rebounds and has a good game. The DraftKings Sportsbook is a proud sponsor of Felger and Maz here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Next piece of business. If you're watching on the simulcast on NBC Sports Boston, we are obviously on location. We are at View Boston, which is at the top of the Prudential Center Beautiful setting. I haven't gone around and looked at our shop, but I'm sure it looks beautiful up here.
Oh, it's great.
It's really cool.
It is cool up here. It is. It's a 360-degree observation deck atop the Prudential Center with a rooftop bar and panoramic views of the city. If you're heading to a Red Sox game this summer, stop by to View Boston for your game day gear and score $5 off tickets. Oh, so listen. Any small victory you can take, you should take them.
Definitely.
Life's about small victories. You can get a little trim on those Red Sox tickets. It's worth it.
By all means.
Rooftop bar season has also arrived, and Stratus Bar at View Boston is one you must add to your summer bucket list. If you're looking for the best spot in town for a cocktail, head on up to Stratus, where you'll find the best sunset views in the city. The attraction hours are open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have there was a mascot meet and greet between 1 and 3. It was mostly spent with Maz chirping Wally.
I've put that on the socials. So
okay, that's out there.
Yeah.
It was legit.
Yeah.
It
There's
happened.
real beef there.
No, it happened. And kids can enter free up here for April vacation through Sunday, April 26th. Also, as part of this, we've been given 4 passes. They're kind of stuck together. 4 passes for, View Boston, and 4 tickets to a Boston Duck Boat tour. We don't need these. Stu or Kevin, who's ever back there, are you equipped to do a quick giveaway?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I just have to remember to bring these back into the studio.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
So that means I have to.
Yeah, Dennis, you got it. Dennis, you got it.
Dennis.
Okay.
I would give him to Dennis right now.
Caller number 9, and I don't know why. Caller number 9 to the contest line, 617-931-0985, will score not just 4 tickets to the Boston Duck Boat tours, but 4 all-day passes to View Boston. Again, good luck for that, and thanks to our friends here, our new friends at View Boston at the Prudential Center. Come check it out. All right, there's a giveaway. 90 seconds for an update. No commercials. We return with Gasper.